It is the 41st millennium. The God Emperor has sat broken upon the golden throne, ruler of man on holy terror since the betrayal of his sons. The world of men has shaken, trembled, and decayed in his absence. The chosen son now rules in his stead, weeping at what has become of his father's dream. Still he must fight, for as ever the dark comes, beasts, traitors, sea-nose, foulness beyond mortal kind seeks to undo the living. Creatures from the outer dark devour all in their path. Mortals do battle with the deathless at every turn. Upon these savage times, the greatest of the Emperor's creations, the Adeptus Astartes, do battle with all of this and more alongside normal men from the Astra Militarum, whose bravest wade into death's embrace with no fear. Courage and bravery are still found in man. Its light fades but is not broken. The ever-shifting dangerous warp tides, upon which the mighty vessels of the Navis Imperialis travel, leak the reeking taint of corruption, must be navigated between solar systems. Travel in this cursed realm is the pock-marked bedrock upon which the Imperium stands, and an air car has just plunged through the roof of a hab block. The wind swept through the massive hole in the roof of the hab block, a violent gust that echoed the turmoil within Gretctus Arvtavana's mind. As a minor noble tasked with overseeing the scriptum of this hab block, he was accustomed to the challenges that came with managing a sprawling enclave of diverse individuals, each struggling to survive in the underbelly of the vast city. Gretctus Arvtavana's office, perched high above the hab block, allowed him a panoramic view of the havoc caused by the sudden breach in the structure. With a heavy sigh, Gretctus turned away from the window that revealed the chaos below, focusing on the maintenance and service reports spread across his desk. The documents, compiled by low-wage menials who barely grasped the intricacies of the tasks they performed, presented a disconcerting picture. The cult mechanicus, with their arcane knowledge and lofty ambitions, had little patience for the mundane and straightforward duties that sustained the hab block. The reports detail the litany of issues: malfunctioning life support systems, flickering lumens casting eerie shadows on grimy walls, and broken ventilation units struggling to combat the pervasive stench that permeated the air. Gretctus ran a weary hand through his graying hair, contemplating the paradox of his position. As a minor noble, he was expected to maintain order and efficiency in the hab block, yet he found himself wrestling with the indifference of the cult mechanicus and the challenges imposed by a workforce grappling with tasks beyond their comprehension. The storm outside mirrored the internal turmoil within Gretctus. He knew that the hab block, like the city itself, teetered on the brink of decay, held together by a delicate balance of power and necessity. The scriptum, a sprawling web of regulations and decrees, was his responsibility to uphold, but the gulf between the nobility and the laboring masses seemed insurmountable. In the large common area at the center of the hab block, the wind howled through the breached roof, creating a symphony of creaks and moans that underscored the fragility of their existence. Gretctus couldn't escape the realization that the scriptum he administered was becoming a brittle parchment, unable to withstand the harsh winds of change that battered the hab block from all directions. Gretctus Arvtavana's life unfolded as a tale of perpetual woe, a narrative written in the shadows of a noble lineage that had long lost its luster. Stranded as the third, or was it the fourth, removed scion of a once proud family, and burdened further by the insignificance of being a fourth son, he found himself relegated to the periphery of real power. Swiftly shuffled away to minor duties, his daily existence became an unending cycle of mundane responsibilities. His journey to the managing office of Octra hab block, a descent from the lofty spire to the heart of the hab block, had become a familiar routine. The cold, impersonal walls of the spire seemed to encapsulate the distance between his lineage's past glory and his current reality. Each step downward echoed the descent of his family's standing in society, a reminder of the fading embers of their once vibrant influence. As the day wound to a close, Gretctus found solace in the anticipation of his short stint outside. The relative freshness of the open air offered a brief respite from the staleness that permeated the managing office. The transition from the sterile, artificial environment of his workspace to the chaotic life of the hab block below provided a momentary escape from the monotony of his duties. The hab block, with its tangled alleys and communal spaces, became a refuge for Gretctus, a place where he could briefly detach from the weight of his noble lineage and the burdens of overseeing the scriptum. The wind, though now penetrating through the breached roof, carried with it a hint of authenticity that was absent within the bureaucratic confines of his office. In those moments outside, Gretctus allowed himself to be a spectator to the daily struggles of the Hab block's inhabitants. The flickering lumens, the distant hum of machinery, and the communal chatter served as a stark contrast to the sterile silence of his office. He became a silent observer, seeking a connection to a reality that transcended the rigid structure of his noble obligations. As the shadows lengthened and the Hab block embraced the encroaching darkness, Gretctus reluctantly retraced his steps back to the spire. The short respite outside acted as a bittersweet interlude, a reminder of the vast divide between his world and that of the Hab block's resilient inhabitants. Yet, for those brief moments, he found a semblance of connection with the pulsating heart of the Hab block, a world far removed from the scripted existence dictated by his noble lineage. Pausing on his way past a narrow alley, Gretctus Arvtavana immersed himself in the symphony of sounds that emanated from the labyrinthine passages of the Hab block. Snippets of conversations, muffled yet distinct, wafted through the vents and shared spaces, blending with the general hum of life that echoed the struggles and camaraderie of its inhabitants. In those transient moments, he felt a connection to the pulse of the Hab block, a living organism with its own heartbeat. Aware that his Hab block was neither the most opulent nor the wealthiest, Gretctus took pride in the diligent management he brought to it. His study, surety of purpose, and a solemn understanding of the unfulfilled duties that lay ahead defined his approach. In the midst of the chaotic dance of Hab block life, he found solace in the structured routine he had cultivated. Though his lineage had cast him into the shadows of nobility, Gretctus navigated the complexities of Hab block management with a keen sense of responsibility. He spent resources judiciously when necessary and exhibited a shrewd inclination to save whenever possible. The efficiency rating he maintained was a testament to his dedication, a rare achievement in a sea of bureaucratic mediocrity. For many years now, Gretctus had steered the course of the Hab block with unwavering determination. The challenges posed by the gaping hole in the roof or the indifference of the mechanicus were but ripples in the vast ocean of his responsibilities. His tenure was marked by an unyielding commitment to the well-being of the inhabitants, a commitment that transcended the limitations imposed by his noble lineage. In the moments spent listening to the communal heartbeat of the Hab block, Gretctus Arvtavana found validation for his chosen path. The distant echoes of conversations and the harmonious hum of daily life were a testament to the resilience of the Hab block, and in turn, to his own steadfast leadership. As he resumed his journey back to the spire, Gretctus carried with him the reassurance that, despite the challenges and the weight of his noble lineage, he had upheld a legacy of efficiency and purpose within the intricate tapestry of the Hab block's existence. From Gretctus Arvtavana's relative viewpoint, life within his Hab block, though minor in the grand tapestry of noble existence, was characterized by a semblance of grace and order. For those fortunate enough to call this Hab block home, a haven of comfort, justice, and ease of mind unfolded within its confines. The meticulously managed environment reflected his unwavering commitment to the well-being of its inhabitants. In Gretctus's eyes, the Hab block stood as a testament to the notion that even in the depths of the Hive city, where squalor and strife were the norm, a pocket of respite could be cultivated. The diligent organization of services was apparent in every corner. Trash was diligently collected. The arbitrators maintained a small yet effective office with unobtrusive checkpoints at each entrance, and the local private enterprises thrived under careful oversight, ensuring well-stocked shelves for the residents. The sourcing of local goods from nearby factums demonstrated Gretctus's commitment to sustainability and self-sufficiency. The local school, a beacon of knowledge and enlightenment, was well regulated and efficiently run, providing the youth with an education that transcended the challenges of their environment. The Adeptus Ministorum, having been granted an entire quad sub-block, established a chapel for spiritual solace within the Hab block. The presence of the local ecclesiarch, Pastor Vigatum Clarth, added a touch of zealous yet reasonable devotion to the religious practices, fostering a sense of unity among the inhabitants. Remarkably, the crime rate within the Hab block was a mere whisper compared to the tumultuous echoes resonating through the Hive city of Durntra. Gretctus's judicious application of justice and his collaboration with Pastor Vigatum Clarth played a pivotal role in creating an environment where residents could live without the constant shadow of criminality. The low crime rate was a testament to the success of their collaborative efforts in fostering a sense of community and adherence to a moral code. In Gretctus Arvtavana's realm, the Hab block wasn't merely a dwelling place. It was a testament to the possibility of order and prosperity even in the darkest corners of the Hive city. The relative view he held was one of contentment, where the daily lives of the inhabitants were touched by the deliberate decisions and careful planning that he, as a minor noble, had dedicatedly woven into the fabric of their shared existence. However, the fragile semblance of peace and order within Gretctus Arvtavana's Hab block was destined to crumble, ushering in a period of uncertainty and upheaval. The air car that had violently punctured the roof, leaving a jagged hole in its wake, bore the insignia of an off-world rogue trader. The corpulent figure of the trader occupied most of the small vehicle, and the grim aftermath of the crash saw the unfortunate escorts scattered amidst the wreckage, their fates entwined with that of the rogue trader. The arbitrators, the bastions of law and order in the Hab block, were diligently investigating the crash when the heavy-handed forces of the governor descended upon the scene. The demand for answers was swift and uncompromising, triggering a sudden lockdown and quarantine of the entire block. The inhabitants found themselves thrust into a state of uncertainty and anxiety, isolated within the confines of their homes, unsure of the unfolding events. As the governor's forces scrutinized every detail and probed for information, the once thriving Hab block became a landscape of tension and suspicion. Gretctus Arvtavana, once the architect of a harmonious community, now found himself caught in the crossfire of political intrigue and external forces beyond his control. The once ordered routines of daily life were disrupted, and the inhabitants grappled with the unfamiliar sensation of confinement. The open-air respite Gretctus had cherished became a distant memory, replaced by the stifling atmosphere of uncertainty that permeated the Hab block. The coming days promised a new chapter, one defined by the decisions of distant powers and the repercussions of an unforeseen calamity. Gretctus Arvtavana, the steward of the Hab block, stood at the epicenter of this storm, his efficient management and noble lineage overshadowed by the looming shadow of external intervention. The relative peace and comfort that once characterized his Hab block now hung in precarious balance, teetering on the brink of transformation. Gretctus Arvtavana, clad in the modest attire befitting his noble status, approached the chaotic scene where the dark green-clad forces of the Governor's Planetary Defense Forces, PDF, were attempting to assert control. The air was thick with tension, and the once familiar thoroughfares of the Hab block were now dominated by the authoritative presence of the PDF. As he neared the epicenter of the commotion, the leading figure among the Governor's enforcers turned, his stern gaze meeting Grettus's as he approached. The officer, adorned in a formidable PDF uniform, exuded an air of authority that sent ripples through the uneasy crowd that had gathered to witness the aftermath of the aircar crash. "State your business, noble," barked the officer, his voice a commanding force cutting through the ambient noise. The dark green insignia on his uniform marked him as a high-ranking figure among the governor's forces, and his expression left little room for negotiation. Gretctus, though a minor noble, stood his ground with a measured composure. He knew that his role as the overseer of the Hab block would now be scrutinized in the wake of the rogue trader's calamitous arrival. Clearing his throat, Gretctus addressed the officer with a carefully chosen blend of deference and resolve. "I am Gretctus Arvtavana, the administrator of this Hab block," he declared, his tone firm yet respectful. "I seek to assist in any way possible to restore order and provide any information that may aid in your investigation. The inhabitants here are law-abiding citizens, and we desire nothing more than a swift resolution to this unfortunate incident." The officer's gaze remained stern, but there was a flicker of acknowledgement in his eyes. The Hab block's fate now hung in the balance, caught between the machinations of off-world traders, the scrutiny of the governor's forces, and the steadfast determination of Gretctus Arvtavana to maintain a semblance of order in the face of uncertainty. Wearily, Gretctus Arvtavana acknowledged the officer's request to discuss the matter away from the prying eyes of the public. Nodding in agreement, he led the officer through the tangled alleys and back to the relative sanctuary of his office. The ambient sounds of the Hab block, once a comforting backdrop to his daily routine, now felt like an ominous symphony accompanying the unfolding events. As they entered the office, Gretctus gestured for the officer to take a seat, the atmosphere thick with a blend of tension and anticipation. The officer, remaining standing, wasted no time in conveying the gravity of the situation. "We have reason to believe," the officer began, his voice lowered as though to guard against potential eavesdroppers, "that the rogue trader in question was not merely an unwelcome visitor. The governor suspects illegal activities, even by their standards. Moreover, there's a discrepancy in the count of individuals who were supposed to be in the air car. One of them is missing, and we need to determine their whereabouts." Gretctus, absorbing the information, felt a chill run down his spine. The Hab block, once a haven of order, was now entangled in a web of intrigue and potential wrongdoing. The missing individual added a layer of complexity to an already convoluted situation. "I assure you, officer, that the residents of this Hab block are law-abiding citizens," Gretctus responded, his tone earnest. "If there's any way I can assist in uncovering the truth or providing information that may aid your investigation, I am at your disposal. Maintaining the integrity of this Hab block is of paramount importance to me." The officer, though maintaining a stoic exterior, seemed to appreciate Grettus's cooperative stance. The office, once a refuge for the management of daily affairs, now became a makeshift war room, where the fate of the Hab block hung in the balance. As they delved deeper into the intricacies of the rogue trader's presence and the missing individual, Gretctus Arvtavana realized that the challenges he faced transcended the boundaries of his administrative role, thrusting him into a complex dance of power and accountability. As the day wore on, Gretctus Arvtavana found himself stoically accompanying the PDF officer through the narrow alleys and communal spaces of the Hab block, assisting in the search for the missing person. The atmosphere was tense, and the scrutiny of the inhabitants intensified as the investigators combed through every nook and cranny. However, amidst the unfolding investigation, a sinister undercurrent began to manifest itself. Unbeknownst to the officers, the long shadows of the night concealed a dark secret within the Hab block. A guard, tasked with maintaining order during the investigation, met a grisly fate. Silently murdered, his lifeless body was stealthily dragged away and clandestinely stuffed into a disposal vent, erasing any trace of the nefarious act. The night, once a sanctuary for peaceful reprieve, now harbored a malevolence that threatened to rupture the fragile order Gretctus had meticulously maintained. As the residents felt the disruptive impact of the investigation on their daily lives, restricted entry and exit from the Hab block, heightened security measures, their resentment grew palpable. Murmurs of discontent spread like wildfire among the community, fueled by the inconveniences thrust upon them and the uncertainty that shrouded the Hab block. Gretctus, keenly attuned to the shifting dynamics, began to sense the simmering discontent among the residents. The delicate balance he had cultivated was unraveling, and the shadows of mistrust cast a veil over the once cohesive community. The night's lengthened shadows mirrored the growing animosity within the Hab block, casting a foreboding hue over the uncertain days that lay ahead. As the investigation delved deeper into the mysteries surrounding the rogue trader and the missing individual, Gretctus Arvtavana faced not only the challenge of assisting the officers, but also the daunting task of quelling the rising tide of discontent among his residents. The threads of his carefully woven Hab block began to fray, and the once stable community seemed poised on the precipice of upheaval. In the shadows of the Hab block, the seamless replacement of the fallen guard unfolded with chilling efficiency. Unbeknownst to the investigators and the unwitting residents, an assassin had infiltrated their ranks, harboring a deadly mission to eliminate the governor. The details of how the authorities had been tipped off about the impending danger remained shrouded in mystery, but the attempt on the rogue trader Giscard's air car only hinted at the complexity of the clandestine network at play. As the rogue trader's air car plummeted from the sky, thwarted by unseen forces, most likely agents of the governor he was here to kill, the assassin now found themselves stranded amidst the sprawling labyrinth of the Hive city. The failed mission cast a long shadow over their objectives, and the realization dawned that they had been exposed, their intended target now aware of the impending danger. Faced with the daunting task of re-establishing their mission, the assassin knew they had to navigate the treacherous alleys and ascend the spires of the Hive once more. Climbing their way back into the heart of the Hive, where the governor's stronghold awaited, would demand cunning and resourcefulness. The intricate web of alliances and betrayals within the Hive city had proven to be more formidable than anticipated. The assassin, shrouded in the anonymity of the Hive, pondered their next move. The Hive city, with its layers of intrigue and power struggles, seemed to close in on them. Climbing back up the spires would require not only evading the watchful eyes of enforcers, but also navigating the shifting alliances within the Hive's complex social fabric. That the governor's personal PDF troops had sprung quickly upon the scene of the crash told him distressing things. It should have taken them longer to secure the wreck site, even if it was the aircar of a rogue trader. The night, which had already witnessed the murder of a guard and the failed assassination attempt, now held the weight of uncertainty and the looming threat of retribution. The assassin, a pawn in a much larger game, had to recalibrate their strategy, for the path ahead was fraught with danger, and the destiny of the Hive hung in the balance. In the aftermath of the failed assassination attempt and the tragic demise of the corpulent rogue trader Giscard, the assassin couldn't help but spare a moment for the fallen man. Giscard, despite his indulgent and egotistical tendencies, had proven to be an anomaly in the world of power and wealth. Beneath his extravagant exterior, he had harbored a genuine kindness, particularly towards those under his care. Giscard had wielded the privileges of a rogue trader with gusto, reveling in the advantages and opulence the power bestowed upon him. However, his benevolence toward those who served him had set him apart from his peers. The assassin recognized that, in Giscard's own way, he had fostered a sense of camaraderie and loyalty among those who sailed under his banner. As the bells of morning would echo through the small vessel in orbit that once represented Giscard's reign, there would be a genuine sorrow that resonated among the crew. Giscard's leading heir, Muntin, young and somewhat naive but well-raised, would now bear the weight of succession. The assassin knew that the void left by Giscard's demise would be keenly felt, not only for the loss of a rogue trader, but for the departure of a leader who had, against all odds, fostered a sense of compassion in the cutthroat world they inhabited. The assassin, acknowledging the complex tapestry of Giscard's character, understood that the morning would be genuine, even if only partly so. The small vessel in orbit, once alive with the bustling activities of a successful rogue trader, would now ring with the somber notes of farewell, marking the end of an era and the uncertain dawn of a new leadership under Muntin. As the Hive city below continued to grapple with its own turmoil, and the Hab block endured the disruptions caused by the investigation, the distant bells in orbit would serve as a poignant reminder of the intricate interplay between power, loyalty, and the unexpected legacy left by a corpulent rogue trader. The assassin, a master of stealth and subterfuge, continued to weave through the shadows of the Hab block. Employing their training with surgical precision, one guard after another was quietly replaced or circumvented, until the opportunity presented itself to assume the role of the leader of the contingent investigating the crash site. In a moment of reluctant resolve, the assassin, driven by the necessity of their mission, pounced upon the unsuspecting leader. The swift and efficient execution of their skills allowed for a seamless transition, stealing the man's form without leaving a trace of the covert exchange. The transformation occurred swiftly, like a phantom passing through the night. Now disguised as the leader of the guard contingent, the assassin, wearing the stolen face and bearing the authority of the fallen leader, departed the Hab block. The night, thick with shadows and uncertainty, concealed their true identity as they navigated through the alleys and corridors. The stolen form granted the assassin a cloak of legitimacy as they moved beyond the Hab block's confines. The unsuspecting residents and authorities, unaware of the infiltration taking place under their noses, allowed the assassin to slip away unnoticed, the stolen visage shielding them from prying eyes. The assassin, now disguised as the leader of the guard contingent, stepped beyond the Hab block's boundaries, the stolen face a mask concealing their true purpose. In a calculated move, they raised the radio and initiated a communication code known only to planetary commanders and government forces, a code designed to trigger drastic measures in the face of perceived heresy. A chilling message echoed through the radio waves as the assassin uttered the code, 68,245, heretical. It was a proclamation that would set in motion a series of events leading to a block purge, a measure reserved for extreme circumstances such as plague outbreaks or the infiltration of cults. In the wake of this coded declaration, none within the Hab block would be spared. The night, once a realm of shadows and intrigue, now quivered with the impending doom invoked by the heretical code. The Hive city, built upon layers of secrets and political machinations, was about to be thrust into a chaotic upheaval. The unsuspecting inhabitants, entangled in the complexities of their daily lives, were now destined to face the unforgiving consequences of the assassin's manipulation. As the radio signal reverberated through the airwaves, the planetary commanders and government forces received the ominous message. The protocol for a block purge, a ruthless and unforgiving measure, would be enacted swiftly and without hesitation. The inhabitants of the Hab block, ignorant of the impending catastrophe, would soon find themselves caught in the merciless grip of an operation that spared none in its quest to eradicate perceived heresy. The assassin, having set this devastating chain of events into motion, moved through the Hive city with a sense of grim determination. The stolen face now carried the weight of a hidden agenda, and the night seemed to pulse with the impending storm unleashed by the coded proclamation. The fate of the Hab block, once a haven of order and routine, hung in precarious balance as the city prepared for the ruthless purge that loomed on the horizon. The coded proclamation had set in motion a merciless chain of events that descended upon the Hab block like an inexorable storm. Swarms of military air cars and transports, emblazoned with the insignia of planetary commanders and government forces, filled the sky in a dark swarm. The initial military sweeps were swift and brutal, the whirring blades of air cars and the staccato of gunfire, creating a symphony of chaos that reverberated through the Hab block. Residents, caught unawares in the unfolding nightmare, were mercilessly gunned down in the streets. The once vibrant alleys became corridors of death, the echo of desperate screams and the stench of gunpowder hanging heavily in the air. Panic and confusion reigned as the Hab block, once a community bound by routine and order, succumbed to the merciless onslaught. Within the confines of the Hab block, the military forces moved with methodical precision. The interior, once a bustling tapestry of life, was slowly and systematically incinerated to the adamant frame. The flames danced with an unforgiving intensity, consuming everything in their path. The flickering lumens cast eerie shadows on the walls, bearing witness to the annihilation of a once thriving community. The residents of nearby blocks, their faces edged with shock and horror, watched in grim silence as the Hab block descended into chaos. The carnage unfolded before their eyes, a grotesque theater of destruction that defied reason. The once stable community, a bastion of order in the Hive city, was reduced to ashes in the wake of the merciless purge. As the military forces completed their grim task, the eerie silence that followed hung over the Hab block like a shroud. The smoldering remnants of what was once a vibrant community whispered tales of tragedy to the onlookers from nearby blocks. The scorched earth, stained with the blood of the innocent, bore witness to the ruthlessness of power and the devastating consequences of the coded proclamation. The Hive city, unforgiving and indifferent, continued its ceaseless hum as the survivors from nearby blocks grappled with the grim reality of what they had witnessed. The Hab block, now reduced to ashes, stood as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life in the sprawling metropolis and the indiscriminate brutality of those who wielded power from above. The assassin, still concealed beneath the stolen face of the PDF commander, observed the aftermath of the merciless purge with a cold satisfaction. The fact that his coded proclamation went unchallenged revealed the formidable power wielded by the actual PDF commander. A wry smile played upon the assassin's lips, recognizing that the ripples of chaos he had set into motion were echoing through the Hive city. In the eerie aftermath of destruction, as the once thriving Hab block lay reduced to ashes, the assassin knew it was only a matter of time before he would be called upon to report to the governor. The puppetry of deception, the stolen identity, and the coded proclamation had all been carefully orchestrated moves in a grander game. The Hive city, with its layers of intrigue and political machinations, awaited the assassin's next move. The stolen face of the PDF commander carried the weight of authority, and the assassin's calculated steps hinted at a deeper design. As he ventured toward the governor's stronghold, the shadows of the Hive city seemed to envelop him, concealing the true nature of his mission. The assassin's mind raced with anticipation as he pondered the imminent meeting with the governor. The chessboard of power had been set into tumultuous motion, and the calculated maneuvers played out within the Hive's confines had repercussions that rippled through the fabric of the city. The assassin, now poised on the precipice of a clandestine rendezvous with the governor, knew that the true test of his cunning and resourcefulness awaited in the corridors of power, where the fate of the Hive city hung in the balance.